Alright, take two. We have mates and Sandrobandito having a practice round against each other for the upcoming Bootstrap
We are
tournament.
under attack.
The keep is
The
enclosed.
Lord has
Among
been
these two,
killed.
mates is the slightly more experienced player, or I should say more experienced player, because he has been playing a lot of 2v2s together with us, including me, Altarus, and usually one of Samurai or Hunafuta. Sandro Bantito, I have not seen him play up until like very recently. He has some ideas about the game, but some of them are clearly coming from being used to the chill environment of the single player. One of them is you can see from the start the double granary. It makes us feel that he thinks the wood is worthless on the early game, although it is not. And he needs some houses, I think. On the other hand, yeah, there is nothing fancy going on here so far. One thing as Sandro Bantito has going for him is that he has two apple farms on the equal elevation as his farm granary, so he will be getting a lot of deliveries faster. And Mate has only one, and even that one is not really close enough to the granary. If you put your granary right next to your apple farm, you can get double deliveries from a single one. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And Mate started training slingers. He will be using them as guards for the ramps, I think. And he's hunting all around the map, or not all around the map, only here, although he should be hunting these two. These are very easy to hunt. And one thing about these hunters is that they have no deer nearby, so they have to go all the way here, so they see these deer here and then go all around here just to hunt the deer at the other side. But yeah, Sandro Bandito has two early pitch tricks, which will be making him a lot of gold because we have made pitch much more worth it in the rebalance. So it's actually very much worth it to produce and sell pitch for just gold. Although you later in the game you will be needing that pitch for fire ballistas and maybe some fire traps. Because it is more expensive, it's more expensive to buy too, so producing it is always nice. And we see an archer from mates. This archer will be stopping this farm from producing anything and will cover this area. Like any slaves coming by will be getting shot. But against assassins it doesn't do much, because you can always just sneak around here and not be detected by this guy. But it's still a good move to use the free tower given to you for defensive purposes. Sandrobandito also has some slingers on top of it, which do the detecting job and shooting stuff if they come close, but not too close. Not far, I guess. That's how I should have said it. Alright, the wood production is kicking in. A lot of woodcutters, and all of them will be delivering the wood. Let's see what Sandro Bantito will do with them. Mates has moved his stockpile to a more, I think, iron-focused location. Once he gets these iron mines, this stockpile position will be advantageous for him. Although it's usually the case that people just utilize this farm spot with a wheat farm and then like make massive profit off of it. But I feel like mates will be living off of apples for a quite long time. And he has claimed the second quarry too. Let's see on the other side. There is no attempts to build the second quarry yet. Yeah, this is very vulnerable, but he has two slingers guarding it, so. And four more here. With a horse archer, this can be bullied, but it needs some attention, yeah. And mate started building the weapon production. Let's see at the other side. There is hops piling up in the stockpile. I know there is already a brewer. And we see some assassins fighting. It's kind of funny, when he's moving through the swamp, he will just not get shot. The moment he... Another assassin is sneaking through, while this horse archer is busy with this, and these slingers are detecting this guy. Sandrobandito needs to use his resources to immediately get the weapon production, or the assassins might become a bigger problem. But this guy is basically dead before doing anything. Maybe he will destroy this farm, which was not even working anyway, so... But yeah, he died without doing anything, so it's 120 gold for Sandrobandito. 2 Fletchers. No polo turners yet, and I think he will suffer for that very soon. On the other side, yeah, like 3 polo turners and 1 Fletcher. Maybe another Fletcher would be nice, but you can always sell the spears. That's the nice thing about it. So there is no such thing like overproducing spears unless you are lacking troops. Or there are more like raw resources available near your keep and you are still building polo turners. That's also not really nice. And there's a Molai. Actually 2 of them. Let's see what they will do. Unless mates notices it, those 2 Molais can do serious damage. Okay. So the brewery production has kicked in, and it's time for a inn. I think. Also, this is a little bit too much. When the Stonecore is this close to the stockpile, you don't really need the second Oxteader. It's just taking freeze of population and delaying your deliveries. Not the end of the world, but you still wouldn't want this. One good thing about this item, this stockpile is that this iron mine is slightly closer and this stone is slightly closer, but he's not utilizing that yet. Also, once these deers die, there's another iron mine spot opening up here, so you basically live off of slightly less resources and then maybe unlock these. I mean, it's not the biggest difference, but still, it's significant in the long run. And Mates is gathering quite the force to now invade the other side of the map. There's even a Maulai in there, and there is like 20 spearmen maybe, along with a lot of archers. And Sandrobandito needs to do something about that. But it is getting kind of late. He needs a tower and even some maybe traps, like killing pits, just randomly spread around here. Any lucky kill is a good kill. But yeah, this is kind of nice for Sandrobandito. As long as he holds on to this tower and prevents this spearman from doing anything, he should be fine. These spearmen are running to the tower. He needs to respond to that. These guys are coming to help, but it's too late. These guys needs to manually target these guys. And the Mola is also coming. Let's see what happens. These are staying there because he probably just clicked on the stairs or maybe the tower, and the group selection just did the work. Yeah, this was a good attack, but insufficient micro, so the units just got wasted. This Mola is still staying here. He can just destroy these two without anything stopping it. And the beer still keeps piling up. Sandrobandito needs to get his ins up. It will be a massive taxing advantage, and he can even maybe reduce the rations. On the other hand, Mates has a chapel. I'm not sure if that one chapel is able to cover 25% of the population. But it's getting there, I guess. I wish I could see the popularity report of individual players. And there's one more thing about these iron mines. You build these iron mines, they start producing, but over time they will lose their efficiency because of the long pathing over here. But as you can notice, there is a high wall here. Once you destroy this wall, you can put your low wall and the gatehouse, or maybe stairs, to make it more efficient for your workers to be just pathing right through this path, instead of going all the way around. And when it is about 5 iron mines, it makes a big difference in the long run. Like you get maybe 1.3 times more production, maybe more. It's basically like having free fear factor. level of difference. And some response archers from Sandrobandito has come. I would like to see these guys go up here and bully this entire eco and force him to basically just keep responding to that, or at least bait the swordsman there. It's kind of bad for mates that these swordsmen are going towards here, because they are slow units. They will take so much time to return to where they need to be. In the meantime, Sandrobandito has no metal units, although he has all the iron he needs. He's just not building anything, I feel like. He has some production spread out, but it's not enough. Like, these resources shouldn't be piling up on the stockpile. You can see the difference of the stockpiles. Mace is constantly spending all of his resources to improve his eco, or maybe get some gold by selling them, but here it is piling up. It's basically a matter of like being concerned that you are not using your everything, and that comes with experience. The more you play, the more you will be annoyed when you see this in your own stockpile. But the inns are here. So the taxation is now started. And Mace doesn't have any beer, so that's one thing going for Sandrobandito. Although he needs fire ballistas and crossbowmen real fast, or he's going to die to these swordsmen. And Mace is preparing some shields, so he wants to be completely ignoring the archers, although he doesn't really need much protection against archers for these swordsmen, but for the rest of his army it's significant, yeah. So maybe like 20 archers stationed at somewhere under shields, and maybe some spearmen guarding them, and the swordsmen are just marching forward like without a care. But yeah, Sandrobandito also has started his metal armor production along with a single blacksmith. He needs to place 2 more of them. He has the iron he needs. In the meantime, let's see if there is anything else going on the map, and there is really not. I don't see any fighting. I see some units getting repositioned. These archers are hitting the swordsman for nothing. I mean, basically nothing. They do like no damage. And Mates is preparing for an attack. Let's see how it goes this time. This extra ale can be sold for gold too. Although he has the gold, I think, already. Yeah, he has 1000 gold in the stock. He needs to be spending this somehow. And the game is screaming fire ballistas. He could even buy crossbows, but that's kind of inefficient. You would rather buy pitch and make fire ballistas. And this is kind of a bad choice. And this is one thing that people just keep getting confused about. These tanners will do 3 trips to the armory. So with 1 cow, they will be delivering 3 leather armors, or like 4.5 leather armors to the armory. So it makes more sense for them to be closer to the armory than to the dairy farm. Another thing is, you would want the tanners to be not close to the stockpile, but close to the armory. So like around this area is like the ideal spot for them. Or maybe like around here. Because they don't care about where the stockpile is, they only care about the cows. So like a dairy farm at this apple farm spot and some tanners at here would be much more ideal for the production. But this is just minor optimization concerns. Here we see 2 shields fighting it out, with some spearmen surrounding them. And I'm not sure if he's manually targeting, but these spearmen are also getting shot. Maybe it's because of this apple farm in between, so some of the archers don't see any archers and shoot the spearmen instead. Or maybe because it is due to the elevation difference. Or not. Yeah, in the meantime though, the swordsmen are coming. And they are here to clear this tower. These 2 can clear the tower. and they already started. And they're destroying the base. If he gets the other armory too, it's a big blow. Not only it removes all the stockpiled weapons, unless Sandrobandito manages to delete all of it, like sell all of it, but it's also stops the production for a while. So yeah, there they are killing the other armory. One thing to remember about your units is like, if you are going to let them just stay at some place, just set them on aggressive and let them do the job. Maybe you don't need to micro all your units, but you can just always set your units that you don't care about and don't want to micro on aggressive stance, and they will just do the damage. Maybe they will not moving in the most efficient way, but they will be hitting stuff. And I think that guy was on aggressive because he tried to hit this stockpile of the quarry. That's something that the aggressive units just keep doing, although it's kind of stupid. We cannot blame them. And there's even a stables for mates now. At this point, it will force Sandro to keep his lord on the keep, because when there are knights out, you just cannot stay outside with your lord. I mean, if you have a lot of guards surrounding your lord, maybe you can, but still, it's scary to stay on the low ground against knights, because you cannot run away from them, unlike the swordsman. Here we see the 4 knights running in, and mates is preparing for this killing attack, I think. These swordsmen can kill everything around, and these knights will be forcing the lord to run to the keep, so even lord will be not part of the defense in this attack. Let's see. He's spam clicking through the units because he just wants to kill the lord. He knows that the 3 knights will be able to kill the lord, so he just goes for it. See, the lord is already at half health, and he's dead. Yeah, GG. Alright. Yeah, here it's a round 2 between mates and Sandrobandito on the exact same positions. Let's see how it goes. I forgot to tell him about the hunters. This is so bad for hunters. They will be again going all the way around here, and maybe one of them will hunt this back. Oh, sorry about that. And this time mates have... okay, he has. I was just about to say he hasn't built his hovels, but he did. And he has 5 leftover wood. Let's see what he will do with it. Which farm? This one or this one? He played something, but I didn't see. Or maybe he put these hunters out. Okay. Let's see on the other side. Sandrobandito has started with a wheat farm this time. He needs to defend this one. If an assassin gets this, it's so much damage. This lord can do the job. Let's see what he does. And also, moving the stockpile right next to the wheat farm would do a lot of difference. It's like almost doubling the efficiency. And allows you to live off of 1 wheat farm for almost 19 population. So it's kind of epic. So he bought a lot of wood, and he's started producing stone again with the 2 quarries, because I didn't tell him that in between the game too. So and mates with the horse archer early. Let's see what he does with it. And slingers to probably most likely for defensive purposes. This apple farm is also here. Now the archer is there to stop this apple farm from being useful. And Sandro gets his mark post. So he will be training units very soon. This apple farm is nicely dodging the arrows. He gets this delivery, but I don't think he will survive for the next one. And the wheat production already kicked in. There's one problem. He has no stone. And in the rebalance, we need stone to build the mill. It requires 30 wood and 10 stone. It's one of the changes that just kind of got implemented by Altarus, with not much discussion around it. But it doesn't make the game feel like super different. So it just makes it more required to have stone to have a better economy. And these stones are almost coming. Both of them is almost ready. Yeah, one of them is bringing it. Let's see what else is happening around the map. There's already a dairy farm here. That's a kind of an early dairy farm, and he has so long path to this granary. I hope this granary will get moved once the wheat production turns into flour production. And we can see Mates is producing weapons already. Also, he has no armory, so this guy is keep waiting here. And he has claimed the top hill, the stone quarry and the iron mine. I'm not sure why he is not taking this iron mine, which is much closer to his stockpile, and he could make it even closer by destroying this wall. Wish I could see the popularities, but I can't. And Sandra also took this back iron mine again, which is fine. But neither of them realized that these iron mines are much more efficient with just destroying these walls and putting a low wall and stairs combo instead of it. One of the gimmicks of this map has a lot of gimmicks. One of the most unique gimmicks on this map you can see is these pair of walls. They serve as buildable bridges. Yeah, you heard that right. If you bring a siege tower and attach it to one of these walls, it will connect these two high grounds together, and then you can instantly move your entire army through this path, except for your horse archers and knights and siege weapons. Those guys will have to move around, but the rest of your army will be immediately be able to cross the bridge. But it will also allow your opponent to do the same thing, so you will need to be careful about that. And I already talked about these walls in the previous game, so I will not repeat what I said about it. And the center is the most evil part about this map. These ruins didn't used to be in these areas. This one could play. Oh, this was a granary? Oh, maybe he destroyed his own granary? No, but he has a ruins left behind, so it must have been an assassin. Yeah, let's see. The slingers are coming close, but there is no assassin visible. So maybe he moved around. I don't know what happened here. Because arrows won't be killing that granary. Anyway, so I was talking about this walls in the middle. Back then they didn't even used to be here, so you just had to know that you can make a very sneaky path through the middle. And you can even place a gatehouse, so you won't even be affected by the high ground slow. It's basically similar to these buildable bridges, but this time it's not a bridge, but it's just a climbing spot for your units. So if you have like 10 mobilize and you want them to rally point up to the tower, you don't need to go all around this area. If you destroyed these walls, you can put your own walls there and boom, you're instantly invading his keep. I mean his tower, which is a crucial vantage point for him. And again, we are seeing a similar situation, although there is slightly more raids going on. This granary was destroyed in a way that I couldn't see, and now we have spears harassing the farmland. But not for long, they will die now. He's trying to sneak through to the echo, but there's too much defense around, so it's not working. Sandro has a lot of iron again. I would like to see that iron getting used, but he needs wood. And he doesn't have the wood cutters at the right places to collect wood. Although Mace also doesn't have it. At least, he has these though. Other than this, Mace doesn't have much extra wood going for him, but these are kind of enough, like 4 wood cutters. Okay, Sandro also has with 3 apparently. This one is maybe on his second delivery. These guys are fresh, I think, because the trees next to them are not dead, and 2 woodcutters would never be clearing an entire tree. So from this I can infer that he is having popularity problems. The people are just not coming fast enough, and the iron is piling up again. This time he has no beer, and Mates also started with wheat production just recently, so he's getting his first wheat delivery. I expect him to build immediate mills, but I think maybe he is busy fighting right now. He has some spears here. I think those are mates. Yes. And he has sent a single one to destroy this iron mine. It will take him a long time, but he will get it eventually. One thing you need to keep in mind is that you will not get a warning for this. The game will not say you are under attack unless the worker, the iron mine worker, this guy gets attacked by the spearman, and then you will know that, oh, some units of you get attacked. And he gets it. And maybe because he attacked the peasant after he died, you kind of get the warning. Or you just hear the building get destroyed. Yeah, these spearmen are running to this guy. Poor man, he will be bullied by 8. Yeah, Mace is doing Mace is playing basically the same game. Only that he didn't waste his army, unlike the previous time, and trade no mobilize. And other than that, Mace's gameplay has been the same as the previous game. Sandro has made some improvements. For example, he used 1 granary instead of 2. He produced weapons slightly earlier, I think. Other than that, he repeated the mistakes that I talked about in the previous game. And it's kind of understandable because I didn't tell anything about the mistakes that he repeated. Only thing I have actually talked about was the granary, and he fixed that. And maybe he's producing maces, because I also mentioned maces are very good for the mid game. So let's see. Yeah, it kind of looks like the guy is producing maces. One of them is producing... Okay, both of them are producing swords. My bad. And the spearmen are at the hovels. They're destroying the hovels or fighting. There's some also horse archers from mates on the high ground, so they're bullying the units. Yeah, mates has 1 army coming from here. He has some spearmen that were here. It just died, and now they are chasing the horse archer from mates, Sandro's spearman. Yeah, Knights is also coming. Let's see if this mill is actually close enough to do council. There is an ideal distance for the mills. We don't usually care about it, but you would want ideally to be 2 of these guys always moving around, and 1 of them is always producing. And you can only observe this at the stage where you have always some wheat in your stockpile, and otherwise you will not be able to properly analyze it. Okay, there's a lot of archers against a lot of spears. I think this archers should be winning it out, but spears are already in range. Okay, some of them are just suiciding so that the others can run away. There's one swordsman. This one swordsman can hold off all of them with the support of the archers. Okay, some macemen are coming out. I don't know what I saw. I saw them carrying swords over there. Maybe he bought the maces. Or maybe the second delivery was maces, so he got 4 maces out of it. Let's see, yeah, there's 4 maces, so probably it was the second delivery of the blacksmiths. The shields are coming. But there is no melee around this guy, so these 4 maces can clear all of it. These woodcutters are from Sandro, but they are in an unfortunate spot. Basically, 4 macemen is all it takes to kill all those archers without a single loss. But now knights are coming. And he needs spearmen to deal with that, because he cannot afford to get any fire ballistas, I think. Or maybe he can. Let's see how much gold he has. He has so much gold. It's 600. Oh no. You wouldn't want to fight knights with the maceman. Never ever. Yeah, these knights will break havoc again. Where is the lord? Yeah, lord is now on the keep, so knights cannot kill the lord. But they will be destroying the entire eco, because there are no spearmen to fight them off. I mean, you can use swordsmen, but they can just ignore swordsmen, run around them, keep their distance from them, and swordsman won't be able to catch up. Although he's not using that right now, he's just man fighting them. Now the lord comes out because the knights are low. No, 4 spearmen. Yeah, basically. And in the meantime, Sandro is making a counterattack, which is always nice. If your opponent is not paying attention to his side, you can always do some damage with less than required units. But I'm not sure if Mace is not seeing this. He has some source of his own coming towards Sandro's side. Let's zoom out and abuse my 2K screen to show you everything that goes on in the game. Or should I say QHD? Very. Okay, those 2 swordsmen are fighting the knight, and I think they are gonna lose. Or maybe they were fighting 2 knights, I'm not sure. So they beat one of the knights and then died, I guess. Okay, Sandro is using the maceman. That's kind of nice to see, but that was not enough maceman. Because there were some spearmen guarding the archers, and because the maceman went all the way around here, they just got shot a lot of times. It's like twice the amount of macemen that he used to clear that out. And Nate's Dort is in a very vulnerable spot, although he has 2 swordsmen nearby. I mean, a sneak is possible, but it's kind of hard. Yeah, but the army difference is kind of off the roof right now. Mace is basically 3 times the size of Sandro, and all he needs is like a little push to basically clear out this entire kit, but because there is nobody defending it. And armory won't defend your castle. You need units. Now knights are coming to kill these guys, and they noticed it and they are running away. This amount of spearmen can't kill 2 knights. They can maybe kill 1, but not 2. Let's see. Yeah, basically they took the half health of one of knights. and then got killed. This knight is still chasing the archers, and these guys aren't turning back. So he will get at least one kill, I think. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I guess he paid for himself. In the meantime, macemen are fighting the swordsmen. This is the last thing you want to do in this game. Never melee swordsman with your maceman. Not in the vanilla, not in Bootstrap. You would ideally want to use your spearman, or if you have a cathedral, monks to fight the swordsman in melee. Or your own swordsman, of course, or pikeman. Just not use the maceman, because maceman will do less than usual damage to them. And the knights are killing the stables. Oh, this is so painful. Or are they? They are not hitting it. This sometimes happens when you order your units to destroy a building, and they will just not listen to it. This is one of those situations. Kind of allowed Sandro to get 3 knights before his stables got destroyed. And mates didn't notice that his units are not hitting the building actually. And the lord is on the outer area. So this swordsman will clear things out, I think. If Sandro had like 10 or 15 macemen, he could do a sneak attack. But this amount of macemen is unfortunately not enough. And now the spearmen are trying to get up the keep. Well, of course they are not taking it, because the knights are guarding it. But these swordsmen can actually kill the lord. If they just walk up to the keep and the lord doesn't run away. I mean, the second part is that kind of switch. But the fire won't be able to hold them off. Unlike vanilla, your metal armor units don't instantly get cleared by the fire. They still take a lot of damage, but they just don't die instantly. Okay, it's 2 swordsmen fighting the lord. And he ran to the corner. And he's dead. I mean, he could have kited them around, but that would be just delaying the inevitable, so. GG, well played. Round 2 goes to Mace 2. And I think I need to make some more comments about the game in the chat.